Good morning, my millionaire growth partners. My name is Otis Tucker, the world's first trillionaire. I am creating heaven on earth, people, and the way that I do it is that I'm number one helping people to realize that what they consider to be their soul is the spirit of God, and also that I'm helping billions of people across this world to be financially free. And the main way we do that, people, is that I have realized that people is the greatest asset in this entire world, and therefore we shall, we must get paid to exist. And just know, people, that in the spirit, we're creating means and ways on how to make that happen over time. I am creating a million millionaires. I am the greatest leader that ever lived. I am God, people, and most important is that I manifest the words I speak. My message for you today, people, is that having faith gives you your higher self. Choosing to have faith, people, will help you to be the greatest version of yourself. That's essentially what I'm saying. And here's what that looks like. Obviously, we know to have faith is to really have a belief, confident knowing, a sense of knowing, like a belief in the things that we cannot see with our physical eyes, but we believe it to be so, and that's choosing to have faith, people. So therefore, it's like the visions that you receive from God. In order to attain them, is that you must have the faith and the blind belief, people, that the vision that you see is your reality, not your present circumstances. But beyond that, people, is that a couple of things I want to talk about when it comes to faith. Now, it's easy to believe in things when there's signs that it's happening, you know? But what I want for you, people, and this is how you're shaped and molded into being the greatest version of yourself, is that in order for you to go from where you are, your present self, to being the highest version of yourself, is that you must go through the test, people. It's like you have to go through the fire, man. It's like you have to deal with the challenges of life that God put in your path, not because he's trying to punish you, not because he's trying to delay you per se, but there's valuable lessons that you must learn in order for you to be able to handle what God have in store for you. And that's something that I had to learn, man, is that delay does not mean no. It just means, not yet. I need to develop whatever those skill set is that God deems necessary in order for me to be able to uh, deliver on his promise for this world. You know, it's like, it's like you got to look at it like this. It's like having a job, man, getting a new job. You know, like you got a promotion. You've been working with a company for years. Let's say they promote you to being the CEO. Well, if you did not have or learn the management experience along the way to prepare you to be an effective CEO or manager, business manager, then you're going to be unsuccessful in that new role, you know? And what is the point of doing something that you really don't know how to do or can't do? So it's like we're not going to school like classes for this. So it's like God is using nature, he's using the universe, he's using your life predicaments to train us, people, to get us the qualification that we need to be able to handle what he have in store for us. You know, those situations where you have to deal with embarrassment and humiliation, which is one of the prerequisite in order to really do God's work, is you have to get rid of your guilt and shame, because it's like when you get rid of the embarrassment, not get rid of it, but it's like you embrace the embarrassment and be like, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? What that's doing, people, is teaching you humility. And you can't be God's servant if you're not humble. So it's like you have to be willing to face humiliation, to face embarrassing situations, and be okay with that, where you don't look at it as being defeated, but you understand that, okay, that's just a part of the process. Next. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. It's like if people could just say something or do something to throw you off your game, whether it's through embarrassment or humiliation, and then you're set back for a month or two, then you're not in control of yourself, and neither is God. In that point, those people are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like God have to prepare you, man, so that way you know how to handle those situations when they arise, you know? And all of that, people, comes from faith, man. And everything ties directly back into faith. Is that in order for you to go from where you are to being the greatest version of yourself, you must have faith, people. You must truly and blindly trust God that He will work it all out, you know. And there's times when it's, you know, a lot, of course, it's easier said than done, but it's like you have to get to the point where you intentionally choose to trust God, man. Like, I intentionally choose to trust God on a daily basis, because by myself, I would never be able to do these things in my bodily form, my physical flesh. I have to have this depth of the spirit within me in order for me to be able to see past my current circumstances, and to be able to have not only the faith, but not even the confidence, not even just the belief, but a sense of knowing that everything always works itself out. And a lot of time, again, is that I just need to focus on what is the lesson that I need to learn here. You know, because if that's what God is trying to do with the situations that you're dealing with, the challenges, it's like, okay, what is the lesson? Learn that lesson, and the quicker you learn the lesson, the quicker you can move on from it, you know? It's like if you look over your life, you realize that a lot of the challenges you have is repetitive, you know? Those comes in cycle. You're in those predicaments for a while, you're out of it, you're back in it again, and it's like you keep happening over and over. That's because you have not, or we have not learned those specific lessons. So it's like we have to be aware of what the lessons are that we need to learn, and get busy applying ourselves so that we can learn the lessons that are necessary, you know? But above all of that, people, is that I want you to intentionally today choose to have faith, man. Choose to just believe and know. Get to the point where you know that everything that you see must materialize, must be manifested over time. But it all starts with faith, people. Always choose to trust God, man, and just know and believe that everything is going to work out for your betterment, because that's the facts. All right? Anyways, man, shout out to my co-creators of Heaven and Earth International. This is where, people, as a collective, we are indeed creating heaven on earth. And the way that we do it, people, is we're doing it energetically. See, we understand that energy is everything, and everything is energy. So therefore, every single day, what we're here to do is inject positivity into this world. Every single day, people, we are intentionally choosing to inspire and motivate people. We are intentionally making sure that we're smarter than the way we was yesterday. Every single day, we choose intentionally to grow, to learn something new, to try something new, to go in the unknown, to do the shadow work that we need to do, you know? The areas of your life that scare you, we're facing our demons, people. And eventually what happens is, without realizing it, is that you become so healed. And one day you wake up being the highest version of yourself. And that's really what the difference is between who you are right now and you being the highest version of yourself, is that you must do your shadow work. You must face the things that scare you. You must work on yourself, man, every single day to be a bigger, better person than you was yesterday. And if you're doing that every single day, I don't care how much progress you're making, I'm telling you, people, you know, you look up one day and you're like, wow, how far I've come, you know? And that's got to be your thing, man. Every single day, work on yourself, you know? Anyways, I say this, for people that are part of this collective, of course, you're reaping the blessings of God. The blessings of God is things that money cannot buy, people. So it ain't something you accumulate enough money and buy. You have to basically embody these right here. And as you tap into the Spirit of God, these are your rewards. Number one is peace, people. You will experience a peace like you've never experienced before. You'll find yourself being calm regardless of what's happening around you. A sense of calm washes over you, people. You'll also experience joy where you're genuinely happy, man. You find yourself just joy bursting all through you. You find yourself would love people. Like, you'll find that people genuinely love you. If you're fortunate to have a companion or a partner, then you'll find that your level of love, and just find people naturally just love you genuinely and want to support you. And also you'll find yourself that you start to love people unconditionally and have a compassion for others, love and compassion. Like, that stuff is natural for you now. Obviously favor over your life, that's automatic, where opportunities will come and find you. People will hunt you down, man. Opportunities will come and find you, man. And you'll find yourself being invited to places that you never even know exist, much less being able to get yourself there. That's God's favor, people. God's blessing over your life is where God's bless our words, and He bless our heart, He guides our steps, and He bless anything that we are part of, people. So just count on that, man. Blessings is your portion for those that are doing the will of God. The requirement, though, people, to be a part of this collective, I would say, is number one, is that you must choose to believe that the Spirit of God lives inside of you, people. You must choose to believe that, man. There's no way around it. You must also choose to believe that, hey, follow my pages. All I know is that's one of the requirements, is that you must follow my social media pages and watch my videos every day. Why? Because there's downloads there. These are downloads, people, that I share, that is speaking to your soul and awakening the giant, which is your soul, the Spirit of God that resides inside of you. I'm here to wake that spirit up, people. And every day you watch my videos, it's awakening a little bit more. Okay? And then one day you look up and bam, you're there. You are your soul. That is the goal, people, to live a spiritual life, and that's how you do it. By watching these videos every day, you're increasing in your spirit, and you're becoming that every day. Last but not least, people, is that in this new world we're creating, heaven on earth, is that the new currency is authenticity. So you have to speak your truth. Now, your truth, people, is not your present circumstances. It is instead the vision that God has given you, is that is your truth. That is your truth. So when you speak about your truth, people, speak about, your growth, things that you're working on, but more or less talk about where it is you're going, not where you are, where you're coming from, because that's the past at this point. All you have is now, people. So you speak about the things you're doing that is in alignment with the vision that God has given to you. That's your truth, people, and that's what inspires and motivates people, especially when they see your physical present circumstances. That inspires me even more, because you have the tenacity and the ability to see past your current circumstance and instead choose to be the vision that God has given to you. That is truly a blessing to be able to do that, people. And that's what God wants you to do. Practice that every day. Grab your phone, videotape yourself, post it, man. People's breakthroughs are tied to you. Shout out to Jamaica, man, who is the eye of this world. Shout out to Africa, who is the mother of this world. Shout out to the entire Caribbean and African diaspora worldwide, people. I'll say this much, man. I definitely want to talk about both Andrew Holness and ABM Traore. Over there in Africa, it's different, obviously, than the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? And Burkina Faso is not the same circumstance as Jamaica. So I definitely respect different qualities from different leaders, I definitely like the innovation of ABM Traore, where his mind is like a freaking machine, man. This guy come up with all kind of ideas to be able to transform his country from a deficit of food security to being a surplus, where he's shipping food overseas, and watching how he's done it. Whether it's taking out the prisoners out of jail and putting them on farms to go to work, to go plow the fields, or inspiring the youths, man, and creating programs where I think within 1 year he had about 8,000 new farmers, man, that he took through their schooling program to prepare them to be able to dive into that space. Investing heavily in the tools he need, like tractors and all those other things. Like, my point that I'm trying to get at, man, is that when it comes to Abraham Traore, you know, for his land and where he's at, like, I mean, they're doing so much stuff. They're manufacturing their own tractors, manufacturing their own bus, they're building their own roads. I mean, like, I'm beyond impressed with his creativity and his tenacity to just be able to make things happen for a field that he have no relation in. And that's how you know God is up on his life, because that's divine knowledge, that's divine favor, that's divine guidance. Now, when it comes to the Caribbean side, when it comes to Andronis, is that what I see as his strength is people can call, like I know in Africa they call diplomacy, you know, like when I listen to Abraham Traore, it's like, you know, he frowns upon that, but I don't see nothing wrong with negotiating and talking about terms that you want, because again, we're different predicaments, you know. For example, Jamaica right now, I export 75% is the US. We're expanding into other markets, but when you do that, that takes time. So it's like, at the end of the day, we're responsible for the leadership of our countries, our respective countries. So it's like, you can't cut bait and just follow the protocol of Africa, because it's different scenarios, different situations. So it's like, on this side of the world, you must be diplomatic, you know. However, though, we're not gonna ignore our sovereignty, though, and we're not gonna sign up for deals that is not in the best interest of the country. So one thing I applaud Andronis for is creativity when it comes to public-private partnership, you know. The reason why our debt is so low is because he's been able to persuade investors in strategic partnerships. And I say this much too, man. It's like, for example, on whatever the damn highway is from Ocho Rios to Kingston, man. You know, when the French was building it, they ran out of money and that project was stalled. A Chinese company came in and said, we'll front the damn thing. Give us 1,000 or however much acres of land and let us collect toll for 30 or 50 years. And they put up the money, whatever it was. I think it was almost like $1 billion. Now, if the thing that I really dislike about people that criticize this man is like, okay, well, what did you want him to do? You know, he have somebody that's offering to fix the damn road for free to cut the trip from 2 hours to half an hour from Ochi to Kingston, and you're complaining. It's like, well, what did you want him to do, man? My point is this, is that I'm not opposed to diplomatic solutions to problems. And that's something that Andronis does very well. Now, obviously, we have to make sure, though, that we don't sign deals that freaking handicap us. Like, we don't want to give exclusivity to our mining for X amount of blank years. Maybe we'll do duration, whether it's 8 years, 10 years, or whatever the case is. And we also have the right to withdraw the contract for any damn reason whenever we're ready. You know what I'm saying? Whatever stipulation. And we sure as hell not going to take less than market value for whatever the heck we're selling. And we have the right to add value to our resources before we ship it. We're not going to allow a company to come in and take our raw material like they've done for Backsite for decades. You know what I mean? Where we're shipping our raw materials, getting pennies on the dollars, where we could be making tens of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Or way more money by adding value, by creating a product right there in Jamaica and developing industries. So it's like just knowing both sides of the fence. Andronis is definitely really good when it comes to diplomatic solution, and I don't see nothing wrong with that, as long as sovereignty of Jamaica is first priority, and make sure that with any decision or contracts that's signed, it must be in the best interest of Jamaicans. If it's not, then why are we doing it? As long as that qualification is met, then it's a good deal. If not, then shit, let it go, man. We can wait. You know what I'm saying? We waited this damn long, you know? And obviously, I'm hoping that as time goes by, we find better solutions, though, where we can do maybe a deal in one segment, but also build with Africa, where we learn from Ghana with their gold refinement, Burkina Faso, their mining process, and eventually have them team up and help us to invest in Jamaica. So some of that money that we generate benefit not just Jamaica, but Africa. And we could do that for many industries. Right now, I know they're talking about doing direct flights from Nigeria to Jamaica. I'm really excited about that, because that stops what limits people from traveling right now is those transit visas. So it's like to have direct flight from Africa to the Caribbean, or Jamaica in general, more specifically, it's a no-brainer. It's going to boost our cultural exchange. It's going to boost tourism. There's nothing but positivity that can come from that, people. And I'm just excited, again, Farhan's only skills in his administration is doing those diplomatic relationships with countries across the world, you know? So it's like, I just want us to know the difference between the two leaders, and neither one is wrong, but I believe that each one have strengths and they can learn from each other instead of just bashing each other. As far as that goes, people, I'm gonna leave it at there, man. I say this before I split this segment, is that always remember this, people. United we stand, divided we fall. We'll always choose to stand united, regardless of the circumstances. Not only when it's convenient, we'll always choose to stand united, and each one teach one. Whatever one person know that the other one can benefit from, them it teach that information. Help each other. We're only as strong as our weakest link, man. Anyways, that's that. Shout out to, well, not shout out, people. My declarations, people, number one, is that you are a millionaire. You are married to the person of your dreams. You have amazing health and is in the best shape of your life, man. My prayer for you today, people, is that the Spirit of God inside of you, man, will lead you to be your higher self, because that is the ultimate goal, people, is that as you become your higher self, everything follows. So let's keep working on that, people. I believe in you guys, man. We'll talk tomorrow.